There we go. Right. I am not sewing a Lord of the Ring bag today because I couldn't find my hardware. Let's see. Let's see, give me 1 second. I'm just threading my machine. Let's see. All right. So I'm threading my machine. I'm using a Mon thread. It's this really pretty, um, orangish, pinkish color, perfect for fall. Like it kind of looks like a rose gold, but not. And I was going to do Lord of the Ring because I'm in my Lord of the Ring mode, but I couldn't find the hardware. So I started pulling out my other plan B. I've been wanting to make a suede Erica Buller bag for the longest, and I bought some suede when I went to North Carolina for Treat Yourself retreat, and I just pulled it out, and I'm going to sew it. And I've never made an all suede Erica Buller bag, so we're going to be making some mistakes, having some errors, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out nice. So one of the things is a lot of people, when they ask me for a suede bag, I get nervous because it's very easy to mess up suede. It's kind of like a gremlin. You're not supposed to get it wet. You're not supposed to do all this stuff to it, not feed it after midnight. So I bought, oh, I'm going to change out my needle too. I bought some cool stuff. Sorry if it's buffering. They're doing lawn maintenance, and whenever that happens, I bought some water and stain repellent. You can use it on shoes, hats, purses, bags, furniture, whatever. And you can use it on suede, leather, and cotton. So I wanted to show you. I've already done this as a test, but I wanted to show you. This stuff is strong. Please, if you get it, do it outside because I'm going to be high off of fumes for a while. But as you can see, it starts disappearing, and it's not going to, oh God, that smells god awful. Sorry. Ugh. What happened today? You were eating high off of some water repellent spray. I'm changing my needle to a leather needle. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get over that smell. You could do it in a trash can, but all my trash cans are full because it's Thursday and the trash goes out tomorrow. So yeah. You can do it in an empty box as well. But as you can see, it's as it disappears, it's not leaving a residue or stain. What it does is it's putting this barrier so that it can be wet. Hey, from Texas. What up, Roberta? So I bought this all suede, and I'm going to make an all suede bag today with some leather handles. So this is going to be some interesting, very, very interesting. And I'm just going to clean up that. See, and you can tell that's oil that I just cleaned up, and how this oil is not going to go, it's going to be there because I used it. But this area is it's still damp, but it's going back to its original color. So, all right. let's start. I'm going to be using water-resistant canvas for the interior of the bag. I will be using hints of leather for the interior as well. The front of the bag is going to be this beautiful suede butterflies. The back of long side of water-resistant canvas, if you run your nail, you should be able to put scratch marks on it, and that's how you know it's the wrong side. So you're going to be putting right sides together. See, in the right side, scratches. I'm going to put this spray here so I can show it to you later, how it looks. Now, remember, everything here is 3/8 of an inch. Let's go. I'm going to be using a stitch length of 4. Back stitch at the beginning and the end. So this bag's going to be a little bit softer because it is. I'm going to do the handles as leather. But because you can't fold leather, I got actually almost like a veg tan. It's a little softer for the handles. I like to go in with my pinking shears and pink around this, leaving about a little over 1/8 of an inch. Make sure not to hit my stitches. Because I'm not using cotton, I'm going to be finger pressing and using my seam roller a lot. I'm going to take a couple clips. And you really want to tuck that lining behind. Good morning, afternoon. Okay, and then I'm going to top stitch it. At 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Because we're binding, there's no seam allowance that's going to be cut off. Make sure you back stitch to lock in. I got this suede, well this is leather. The other part is suede. I got it from Tandy Leather out in North Carolina, and I was immediately drawn to this. It's so pretty. I love butterflies with all my heart. I'm going to fold this so I see the wrong side of it, and I'm just going to clip the bottoms so that way I can get the lining to be tucked behind as best as I can. And then I'm just gonna finger press this in place. I don't usually show as much as me sewing leather. I love sewing leather, by the way, and suede. Leather and suede as much, or more sophisticated and not nerdy prints. And I'm gonna start mixing it up a little bit more. I just sell mostly nerdy stuff, so that's generally what I sew, so I'm not wasting any product when I'm teaching that I know I can use it still. But I do have a huge fan base for like my hippies kind of like, not hippie, but like kind of boho, like 60s, 70s prints, and very like earthy and organic. I'm going to see which one I want for this to be the front. They're both beautiful. I'm going to have this the front and this the back. So I'm going to grab a tag. And I'm just going to sew it right. It doesn't have to be slap in the middle. I know a lot of people like to do that. I sometimes like to hide my, not hide, I don't like using that word, but like put it in a place where it feels like organically bet, like it looks cute to me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cute. There's no wrong or right way of doing it. Just do whatever makes you feel happy. I know. Hey, you seen it? It's so pretty. I love this leather. And I'm going to sew this on my little one. I feel like with the end of summer happening and fall about to happen, that this is a perfect print that can transition into summer, winter, fall, and spring. It's butterflies. You have your little metamorphoses. It's just really pretty. The colorways are really nice. Okay, so we're going to put these to the side for right now. We're going to grab our main body piece. And we're going to be doing some different, because remember, I'm using leather, so I can't just fold it over on itself. You gotta kind of, hey Sandra. So we're going to do a 5, oh no, what does this have on it? Okay, no one's going to see that. It's going to be okay. 5-inch mark. And I'm using chalk. I'm going to find my center. Yeah, this is suede. And then I'm going to do my straps just a tad bit different. So I'm using this really beautiful leather that I just cut out. And these have to be 2.5 inches away So I'm first going to take these and draw where the 5.5, where you need to put the tape mark on the back. You could edge paint them if you're doing it this way too. I sometimes like to leave like a raw strap. I just like I don't know, I like the way it looks in leather. I like the way leather smells. I'm that person. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to use the chalk on the front as well. We're going to kind of make the same stitching as emulated in the pattern. So we're going to make a mark at 5.5 and 6.5. We're going to juice these straps up a little bit by doing some stitching on them. It would have helped if I would have put the 6.5 and the 5.5 on the other side. I just got too happy. Right. Let's see. Ooh, you're making a wristlet? That's nice. I love butterflies. So I'm still gonna sew on this with a 3/8 of an inch. That's like in the pattern. And I do lock in the stitch every single time. And with this red color against the brown, it'll give it a really nice contrast stitching, but make everything merge together so it could be more cohesive. Let's go 3/8 of an inch down the other side now. You could tell when I just cut this. That's why I have little now leather burrs everywhere. So this is going to be a little bit softer than I usually make it. I usually like to make my Erica Bowler bags extremely structured. But because this is suede and leather, I wanted it to be a little bit more softer, a little bit more pliable, so that when I'm flipping it from after it getting bind, I'm not, you know, trying to destroy the world like Thanos, because that would happen. Snap that finger. So we're going to do this and separate them. So we don't have to pull the threads together. So we're going to start on the side just like she had before, but I'm going to back stitch 2 stitches. I mean, I could pull them to the back, but it really makes no sense when it's not folding over. So I'm going to the 6.5 inch mark to the next 6.5 inch mark, stopping, pivoting, going across. And doing the same. And then let's go across and back stitch. All right, see, and it gives it like a really cool contrast look. It's all about the little details. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to bring back the first one of these, and we're going to measure 2.5 inches over. But I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back of these so they stay. And I'm using, you know, my Try and True Wah-Wah. And see, it's already started to dry from the water resistant spray. That's what I really like, and it's the same color. This particular brand from ANGELUS, it works really good, but just spray it outside because I promise you, you'll feel like you have asthma or something after you're done with it. It is strong with the force, but it doesn't, the smell doesn't stay on the bag. As soon as it starts to dry, it dissipates in the air. But it definitely is strong with the force of smelly stuff. That is chemical. So I'm going to take my 2.5 inch ruler, and I'm just going to place it on my center markings, and I'm going to take the double-sided tape and put it right there at the 5-inch line. Okay, I'm going to move my double-sided tape, my ruler again, to the center here, and have that 2.5 inches away from its center. Okay, now let's sew this on. Back stitch well. I'm going to do about 3 stitches back, locking it in. I'm going to go up to that 5.5 inch mark. Stop, pivot, stop, pivot. Same thing on the other side. This color is coming out really nice with the back colorways. Okay. And I'm going to take the cover. All right. I'm going to go across it at 1/8 of an inch. And because suede stretches a little bit, I highly recommend clipping it more than I did. And you want to keep clipping into where the center is because it gets thicker and thicker, and then you can get a false center when you're putting the bag together because things shifted and moved and changed. Okay. I am clipping this together. Let's see. I'm just trimming along any areas that's not following the original path line. And then again, clipping into the V so we can have our center mark. But this is going to be a pretty bag. I'm trying to get any little stragglers too. I lost, after I made 50 Erica Bowler bags, I have stopped counting. It's one of my favorite patterns. It's like, it's classic shape. I don't feel like the bag is too big. I feel like it's just right, and I just love the way it comes together. It has like this really classic silhouette that I go gaga for every time. And apparently it's not just me because it's like it's in my top 5 bestsellers. So after I'm done with making this bag, I'm going to spray this with water and stain resistant repellent. So that way this bag can last whomever it goes to forever. I'm going to mark this 5 inches up. Okay. Okay, we're going to put find our center and then go over 2.5 inches, and that's when we're going to use that double-sided tape and press it down. Let's go do it on the other side as well. I think that this was Alexis's 4th bag. She's like a machine. She can just create these patterns that are just very classic. This leather's a little bit thicker, but I wanted something that can have the structure, but not be, that could be a little bit more interesting for this bag. I wanted something really rugged, because butterflies are beautiful, but they live in atmospheres that are beauty and, you know, a little darker. Light and beauty. So I thought it would be perfect. And you can kind of see the wrong side and the right side. The wrong side has a little bit more texture. The right side is a little bit more smoother on this particular suede. Remember, suede, if it's not stabilized, will shift. So clip everything as best as you possibly can. You're doing something with such elegant fabric, so give yourself the grace to help, you know, just to make it go through. And I'm going to top stitch across first at 1/8 of an inch. Back stitching 2 or 3 stitches. How many of you guys have sewed a all leather or all suede bag before? And if you did it all leather, was it by machine or was it by hand? Was it riveting? I see it. I came across a couple patterns where there's no sewing involved. It's all about cutting, gluing, and rivets. So I'm going to go back here and just line up any piece that is like a little bit over so that everything just stays even. We have a nice seam allowance. 3/8 of an inch is a perfect seam allowance. But sometimes things can go, if you let things hang a little bit more, you're taking away like 1/4 of an inch or 1/8, and that really could take away from having a nice, crisp, clean corner. Let's see. All right, now we're going to punch some holes. Yeah, I'm using a RSV pen. You could judge me. I'm going to put the other front on this as well, but I want to get these rivets in because I have a magnet I want to put in the front as well. see. Okay. Had the rivets. I cannot tell you how many antique rivets I go through in, in a month, let alone a year. I should have stock in it by now. Okay, I'm going to set these rivets real quick. My machine's on my cutting table. It's like whenever I have to bring it over to the sewing station, it is a task because it weighs like 50 or 30 pounds. It's like really heavy. All right. So those are all done. Rivets are all set. And let's start with the second part of this. I'm just going to find my center. I got this I purchased this butterfly from Fireweed Stitch. And it's just going to give it the extra oomph that I want. Little details like really make people excited about their bag so they can show people. So if you're able to try something new, go for it. So I did put a mark that I thought this will look really nice over here. And I'm going to draw your sister's dress from modeling days. Oh, wow. Ooh, yeah, pretty in red. You can't. I like a good, I love when a good post when someone shows like their, how they like sprayed and created their rivet presses all pretty. I'm like, I'm jealous. Okay, punch the holes. Okay. I'm just going to poke the hole to get it all out. It's so quiet in my house. Let's see. Just tidying them up. Oh, that's so pretty. All right. You're looking good there, my friend. Just lining everything up, clipping it good. This bag needs to stop being cute because it might be my next bag. All right. Trimming those threads. And like I said, go back and then just recut that V for the center mark so that way everything stays the same size. No shifting. Because if I try to fold right now, I'll have like a little bit of bulk, and that is no bueno. Isn't that right? All right. Let's start with the lining. Always try to find the center. And I'm going to use a piece of the leather as a slip pocket. I'm just going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to mark 1 inch on the wrong side on both short ends. I'm going to get some double-sided tape. I'm definitely going to have to do a hand mask after this. Man, this leather is like, the leather and suede is like sucking up all the moisture I have in my hands. Okay. We're going to place now right sides together. We're going to clip it. And I'm going to sew down this at 3/8 of an inch. Back stitching about 4 stitches. Back stitch. I'm going to come at an angle at the bottom with a V, getting close to the stitching, but not cutting into it. At the top, I'm going to do the same thing, cutting it at an angle, close, but not quite cut. This is my first time making a slip pocket out of leather, so bear with me if I'm like, what? in awe or in fear. Maybe a little combination of both. That's pretty. All right, I'm going to top stitch this, but I'm going to first, because this area is a little bit bulky, I'm going to first take where did you go, my friend? I just had you. Well, when in doubt, craft it out. I'm going to take my key fob. I normally have one that has plastic on it, and I'm going to squish this down so that way the seam will flatten out. See how much flatter that is compared to that? I mean, my machine can sew through it, but again, I've said this and I'll say it until I stop sewing. Just because you can sew through something doesn't mean you should. That's okay. So we found our center. I'm going to singe those little threads. And I'm going to draw 2 inches up. And I'm going to take some double-sided tape and place it on the bottom of the bag because we can't pin it. You can't eyeball it, but you're already doing all this hard work. We're going to squish the corners just to give it a little decompression. It's not too hard. And there. Okay, you'd be like, this is not going to be for you. This is my bag. No, no to the coworker. Okay, I'm going to back stitch about, I'm going to go about a 1/2 inch down and then go a 1/2 inch up. And you're like, sure, why? I'm going to put rivets in it to help it, but I want to really make sure that this doesn't come apart from the water resistant canvas. So sometimes locking in a few more stitches can help tremendously. That came out nice. We're gonna put some rivets in there real quick. See, you can see the lock stitches. Like just 4 lock stitches can help tremendously. Like I don't have to put rivets, but it looks nice and it will just, you know, like keep everything nice and tidy. Let's see. Oh man, my lighter just flew across the room. That sucks. All right. I'm gonna make some washers real quick. I didn't do washers on the main body pieces because it's suede and leather. This is going to be using leather against water resistant canvas. Though water resistant canvas is extremely strong, I'd rather just have a backing on there so that way everything could be good. There won't, the bag won't pull through, the rivets won't pull through, and that's the most important part to me. I'm just using leather, scrap leather that I have scrap leather by my table all the time, just for washers. Okay, and I'm setting them, and they're set. So then I'm going to get the front of the bag and place it together. That's Loki and Murderbone. No, that's Roxy itching her face on something metal. I think oh gosh, what is it? The vent. She's not like hurting herself. She just, when her allergies flare up, she always goes to the vent. All right, so more layers. We're going to go again 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And you can just stick your little straps inside the pocket. All right. So we have, oh, I'm going to catch this because apparently I didn't catch it. And that's why clipping is key, Shinova. Always around the handle area, it always wants to act a little wonky because of the bulk. So just make sure your handles are out of the way and then gently tug it and it should all line up. And the reason why you want to make sure you have it all caught up now is so that when we're binding and nothing comes undone. All right, let's work on the second. I know, I love when they go to their forever home and they're just like, this is the best thing ever. And you're just like, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy someone appreciates it. And I'm going to get a couple of zipper pulls out. And we need 8 inches. I would singe the ends of my zipper tape, but it flew across the room. So yeah, there's that. No fire for Shinova. I'm going to put 1/4 of an inch. You can use 1/8. I just, the only 1/8 of an inch I could find today was the Tandy Leather one. It's this one. And it only works good on leather. Everything else, it's just subpar. I'm putting double-sided tape on the front and in the back. Okay. I'm going to put the zipper on. I'm going to have the zipper, I'm going to install it on the right so that it can pull close to the left. You know, next time there's like some kind of like all like Mormino had an event, and I think So Besties has an event. There needs to be a zipper pulling contest. And like what we could do is everyone could bring zipper pulls that they don't necessarily use, and they put it in like this jar, and like there could be like a first place jar, second place, and our third, and have like a contest for zipper pulling. The reason why I want to do this is I'm really good at putting on zipper pull. So it's kind of biased. It's not, just a little bit. We're gonna find our centers, but a zipper pulling contest would be hilarious. Or like wrapping up binding. Things that we do in our workroom that nobody else would appreciate, but another sewist would. We're gonna go about 2 inches down. I'm gonna use this now leather tape on this leather piece. And I'm about to go about 1/4 of an inch down so that I don't have to sew through the actual tape, but it's up to you. Okay. And I wasn't going to put a tag in here, but I'm going to rickroll it. Because it's always funny when someone when I put one of these in the bag and they start singing "Never Gonna Give You Up." So we're going to sew this on using 1/8 of an inch back stitching. You can pull the threads to the back. I just like the back stitch, especially when I'm using leather. I use the handle leather for this zipper placket so that I could pull that color into the bag as well. Good morning. Okay. Oh my gosh, removing the backing of DST. Yes, that would be a great contest. See, we're coming up with a contest. When whoever decides to create a event, we got some games for you. Picking weird, like have weird ones. Like, how many clips can you pick up with your feet or something? How, or like have broken, like people say they're broken clips and have like the floor is lava kind of scenario. Because I don't know how many of us, I know every single person I've talked to has broken clips by stepping on them. And if you go barefoot or wear socks or slippers or something like that, it can feel like Legos, and that stuff is it is not the business. We have a cutting out a pattern contest too, like cutting out a pattern or cutting out like have something, you know, like Lynn's Maid's pocket pal is like extremely popular. How many pocket pals can you cut out in 1 hour or something like that? It'll be fun. It would be super fun. So I'm going to take the first side of the double-sided tape off. And I'm just going to first, I'm going to redo this. I was talking about my zipper prowess and it's kind of leaning to the side. It was driving me nuts. Yeah, I'm chaotic. You're like, you have double-sided tape and sticking to your fingers. It sure is, buddy. Oh man, I had double-sided tape in my hair. You don't want that, man, especially with curly hair. I just want you to know that it was like the way whack one too. I get weird stuff with my hair though. Sometimes I have a, like if I go so really close, my face is onto the machine and the lever, it'll pull up my hair in there, and I'm just like, awesome. Great. So we're gonna pull the bottom one off first. And again, you want to make sure you have the right side going. We're going to place it right on that tape. see the right side's right here on the outside. We're going to sew the bottom of this. And I'm going to back stitch 2 stitches. Go forward. Okay. We're going to get some double-sided tape. And you're like, Shanova, so much double-sided tape. From where the stitch is, right underneath it, below it. From there to there. Finger press that. And try to pull off. Oh my, the worst is when you think you stuck it down good, and then all of a sudden it's lifting up. Give that a nice tug and finger press. Remove the top. And place it right on top. We're going to go on the side, across, and down. Now, I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and the end, but I'm also going to back stitch once and then go over again on the zipper tape. Because my thing is that I want to make sure that if they're let's say they're having a bad night and they pull hard to the left, that the zipper doesn't fly off because there was not enough backing. Oh, the reason why I say this is because I'm that person. I have broke so many zippers on a JanSport backpack, it's not even funny. That's why I put 2 zippers on everything, because like I've had JanSport backpacks with the wrong zipper side because I broke the other side. So if anything we could do to help our customers or the people that we're gifting these to keep it as long as possible, back stitch over those zippers. It's the same thing with dresses. Like when I make a dress, I always make sure that I put like a zipper guard or something to make sure that that zipper, even if they're trying to wiggle themselves into something that doesn't fit, doesn't bust out. Okay, so we see that we have these 2 down here. We're going to lift this up and we're going to sew 3/8 of an inch down on the sides. And I back stitch again over the zipper teeth just in case. All right, so for the people that are watching, you know how they're like, Shanova, I don't know if the 1541S can do 2 layers of canvas. You just seen me go from thick leather, like thick leather, to 2 layers of water resistant canvas. So it is there. It's just about knowing your machine and what it's capable of and what you're capable of. The reason every machine is different is because every person's different, and so what somebody wants to do or not do is really on them, but it's on them. Oh, I won bobbin, guys. I won bobbin. Yay! I should deserve something, but I don't have anything for myself right now. I have some sparkling water. Cheers. All right, we're going to pull up this bobbin thread and then put this to the back. Clip some Legos, yeah. One of my kids stepped on one of them. They're like, "This is worse than Legos." I'm like, "Welcome to my world." I swear I could not wait until my kids were like, "I'm not into Legos anymore." As much as I love Legos, I don't like Legos in the living room, getting sucked in the vacuum cleaner, you sweeping some up, and then your kids going into the sweet dust pile and saying, "You took my lightsaber," and you're like, I didn't recognize that over the dog hair. Like, trying to figure out what Lego that Loki ate and fishing things out that I shouldn't be doing. all that fun stuff is gone, but I still am in the clip game, so. I was showing my husband, I was like, hey, look, they got these sewing metal clips. I'm going to put my, I was showing something that I seen at Creative Bag Making, and they were like metal sewing clips. And he was like, oh, so you want something that you step on and you're going to have to get a tetanus shot. I'm like, why did you have to ruin my dreams? I'm thinking unbreakable clips, right? He's saying tetanus shot. I'm like, awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for the confidence. Thinking I'm going to have to get a tetanus shot. Just trimming off this little bit of straggler right there. Okay, so we have this on the back. And let's start working on the bottom. All right. All right, so I'm going to draw a line. Yeah, Lego clips. Let's see. Do I want to put purse feet? Don't I? It's always a challenge for me. Okay. Let's see. Do it 3 inches and 1. Just putting the markings. All right. Where is the hole puncher? All right. These are from Wawak. I haven't had any issues with their hardware. So whenever I do an order, I always put in for a little bit of something because I'm always needing something. Always. Like it's never it's never not needed. And having back feet on this is not necessarily bad because again it's suede, but spraying that water resistant and stain resistant is going to help tremendously with this bag. Only problem I always have with these is like your nails. Like I usually use my stiletto when I can find it. So that way I can open these up without destroying my nails in the process. Like I would be mad if I had like gel nails or acrylic nails and then it chipped because I opened up bag feet. tetanus shot. I did too. I sewed my finger and I had to get one, and I know I'm due for one. So that is like the one shot I try to avoid, like the plague. And I know in our line of work and our art that it is kind of important because we mess with scissors, we mess with metal. You right now I'm like trying to pry apart two pieces of metal, and if one gets underneath like your nail or something and it starts bleeding, like you don't know where these bag pieces have been. Like they've been overseas, and when they're on the way, did like a bird use the bathroom on it? Like, or did like mice sleep and nestle in them? You don't know. So yeah, tetanus. I got the last two times I put a needle through my finger. Had a tetanus shot, but like it's just I don't know. I don't know. That's a shot. That shot hurt so bad the next day. You're just like, I don't know why they can't make it feel better. Like I don't know. And normally I'm not a punk. Like I will talk to them when they're doing IVs or doing anything, but bring out that tetanus shot, and I'm like, nah, good. I'm good, boo. That's on you. I don't want to do it. I'd rather walk up. Let me see who I have my let's see, electrical tape. That reminds me of my holiday tape. Oh, so I buy these like double-sided holiday tape stuff, right, to wrap presents, but I can never see the seam to open it. So I'm there struggling for like a good bit. Oh yeah, like these. I got these scratches from birthing a bag yesterday, and I forgot to put this on there. And the prongs got me. I was like, great. Awesome. Apparently, I'm easy to cut open. All right. We have the bottom. Let's start working on the top. All right. So we're going to get our zipper tape. I just want to make sure I have the right side. Double-sided tape. Let's see. All right. All right, hold on. We're going to do 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to back stitch about 3 stitches. Okay, and then I'm just going to bring this over to this side and then stitch it down. Okay, then I'm going to top stitch it 1/8 of inch down the side. I mean, down that one side. All right. I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to flip it over to the back to make sure everything lines up and matches up. I do leave it like zipper ends. A couple reasons. The one time I only had to repair one once Erica Bowler, and I realized that if you have the zipper tape exactly to the zipper gusset, if you have to do repair, it's really hard because you're giving yourself no grace, no wiggle room to remove the zipper pulls. And I don't know, it's just something that I do. Also, whenever I do a binding bag and they have the zipper tape exactly, I noticed that again the zipper pull can move because there's not the best stop. If you don't have the best stop on going back and forth, it can move when you're trying to flip it. And the harder the fabric is, like Decoville Heavy or Peltex or whatever, it will have that zipper moving on the zipper tape, and it's just there's a chance that your zipper will come off, and I don't like to have that chance. And it's cool to have an anchor too, at least to me. Okay, so we're going to get those threads, and then we're going to line those up. We're almost done, guys. Once we put this zipper on, this gusset on, we're going to start binding. So I love this bag. I feel like you get like great gratification when you're done because it comes together. It looks like something that took weeks to put together, and it just comes so together effortlessly. And the gusset, oh, chef's kiss. Okay. We're going to first put our zipper pulls on. Sorry, my phone's on vibrating. Apparently, it makes the whole table vibrate. Trim those threads wherever you see them, so that way it'll be easier later. Right? Okay, I'm gonna grab a piece of faux suede. And as you can see, there's not a lot of stretch, but there's just enough to make me a little concerned. So I'm going to use some electrical tape and just put it right here. It doesn't have a lot of bulk, and it prevents stretching. I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. We're going to fold this onto itself. Okay, and we're going to sew down 1/8 of an inch down all long sides. Okay, I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to get my strap connectors that are 3/4 of an inch. I got these from Fireweed Stitch 2. She's becoming one of my favorite places to purchase like hardware because it's unique, it's pretty, and it's affordable. And she ships like incredibly fast. So I want to leave about a 1/2 inch out into in between. So I'm just going to draw my 1/2 inch mark. And I'm just going to nestle it in. I'm going to back stitch. I'm going to stitch it on. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I think my notifications sometimes on YouTube is not the best. It's going to get a little thick around this area, and I have a smaller needle in, but if I have to use a bigger one, I will. And I'll just take it out and put it in a new one. So I'm going to first sew down the exterior at 1/4 of an inch together. And again, be cognizant of your hardware. Be cognizant of that extra material and just slow it down. All right. I'm going to get that lining. Pretty sides of the lining together. Scratchy side show on the outside. We're going to do 3/8 of an inch here. Okay, I like to snip a little bit at a right corner on that, and then when it's super bulky, I'll try to remove some of the bulk by removing stabilizers or anything to help, but because this is gonna get a little bulky, a little bulky, not too, but bulky enough where this whole project hasn't been bulky at all. Now you can do this at 1/4 or 1/8. When it's thicker, I usually try to give myself grace and do 1/4 of an inch. We got one side done. Okay, we're going to do 1/4 of an inch. Just like I say, be mindful of your hardware. And if you have a domestic, this is where your hump jumper, you put it in the front and also in the back when you're going up and down that bulk. I gotta say, this color with this thread is like amazing. Three-eighths of an inch. This. We're about to be in Clip Mageddon. It's gonna be like Clip Overdrive. One-fourth of an inch. All right. We're going to now face the long ends of the bottom of the gusset because we already did the top. As you can see from my gusset, it's going to be like a very soft bag, and I'm excited about that. Everything doesn't have to be super stabilized. Sometimes people like a softer bag against their body so that it's not, you know, rigid. And when the bag is also softer, it can it won't get damaged as much because it's more pliable. So if it gets like stuffed on top of jackets or something, it won't like crease or anything. I'm sorry, I have like a Loki hair out of nowhere. All right. All right. I'm going to snip and find my stitchers on both bottom and the top. Okay. All right, I always do the front first. I don't know why. It's out of habit, I guess. Okay. I like to put the bottom and the top first together. Alexis knows how to make a pattern fit like a glove. Like, gosh, she's talented. Because have you ever just struggled with the gusset before? Really struggled? Just make sure you follow all the seam allowances equally like it says in the pattern, and your gusset should just fit. Leather, yes, the butterfly fabric is leather that I got from Tandy Leather at in North Carolina for the Treat Yourself retreat. All right, I'm gonna go 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Sorry, there was like excess. It was going to drive me bonkers. And removing the clips one by one. If I get to an area that's starting to fold on itself, needle down, reposition the fabric, and go. And I like to use a sewing stiletto in place of my finger so I don't sew over it again. Like, I've done it like 8 times, so I figured I paid my dues with sewing my finger, so I shouldn't have to anymore. The sewing gods got my blood. All right. Then we're going to take the right sides of the binding and put it right sides. And I like to do this on the top. I fold this over by a 1/2 inch. This is water resistant canvas. We're going to go in at 3/8 of an inch. Or scamp 3/8 of an inch, where it's like a hair off, but it's not 1/4 of an inch. And we're just going to go around. I'm going to use the stiletto to help guide the fabric. see how I'm just like shifting the bottom gusset? Because if it's like this and it wrinkles, if you get a wrinkle below the sewing needle, it's going to be there forever. If it's above, no one will see it. Below, it will. So you want to position your fabric so that you get no crinkles. Nobody likes wrinkles anyways, except on fat babies. It's super cute. And maybe puppies. Yeah, definitely puppies. I want you guys to know I'm easy to kidnap. All you have to do is come with a van full of puppies and I will be yours. Especially wrinkly ones. And babies' wrinkles and crinkles are, and rolls are everything. And see, it's bunching up right here, so I'm going to smooth it out over here, pulling the fabric. I'm going to do a couple stitches, and then I'm going to keep adjusting it. It's time consuming, but it's necessary, especially if you're doing these to sell and you want to make sure that you give the best you could possibly give of yourself. Because we put our art into the bag, so it's representing you in all of your splendor glory. Okay, I'm getting where to the fold, and I'm just going to hold this nice and taut. And I'm about to sew right to that 1/2 inch mark, and then we're going to trim. So I'm going to trim this back. Get all these threads. And then I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. Cut it about 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to join that where I had that 1/2 inch seam allowance. That fold over, I'm going to join these two pieces together so they can act as one. I'm going to bring this over. Give this a nice tug. And then I'm going to fold it so it covers the last row of stitching. Now you could go in and change your threads to match. I like the contrasting stitching. I don't know. I like contrasting stitching on everything. And just take your time. I prefer water-resistant canvas for binding versus waterproof canvas because it's a little bit more pliable. It doesn't want to be as rigid. Clip. Just covering that last row of stitching. And And then we're going to sew. You do double stitch, yeah. Let's see, 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to back stitch 3 stitches just to lock it in. Some areas are going to be a little bit thicker than the others, and it's okay. Just take your time, breathe. Needle down when you have to position. And just, again, repositioning the bulk so nothing gets sewn over that's not supposed to. That has happened to me several times. I hate when that happens. Like, you're like, oh no, I sewed the other side of the gusset to the binding. That's awesome. Totally makes my day. Just repositioning the bolt. See, that came out so pretty. Okay, so now you can see, you can go around and just double check. You should have double checked beforehand, but it's all in there. And we're going to start putting this other piece on. And I just dropped my scissors and my hole press, my rivet hole press. The hole puncher thing. And just don't allow anything to like collapse or fold over like a shelf on itself. I'm gonna turn this over to the other side and just clip. All right. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to sew this down at 1/4 of an inch and then bind it. Then we'll turn it right sides down and we're done. Be fun to turn though. This didn't connect to this. This happens, especially if you don't clip well enough all the layers. It's cool because we cut it before it could be a real problem, and we're just going to go back over and sew at 1/4 of an inch. Suede could be slippery. This vinyl, not vinyl, I'm sorry, this leather is slippery, so the two pieces don't want to stay together. So it's up to you and your power of your clips. Oh, and bobbin. At least it's here, not like when I'm binding. So I always like do 3 spools because I hate. There's nothing more than I hate in the world. It'll make me stop a project if I have to wind bobbins in the middle of the project. I don't know why. Oh, I haven't seen cork like that. If you find cork, please show me, because this is like really, really pretty. I really like it a lot. Yeah, we were at Tandy Leather. Sandra had scheduled. We had a field trip to Tandy Leather, and I love the Tandy Leather in Durham because they always have really interesting prints, and like the weight is not always super heavy. And they had this, and I was like, oh wow, something is not liking something. Hold on, it sounds weird. I'm gonna rethread my machine. Sometimes this slip disc, if I bump it or whatever, I don't catch it in that lever to help with the tension, it can mess it all up. Check the bobbin too. All right, let's try it. Better. See. everything is connected. Let me get this little bit of interfacing that, oops, all right. Get all the threads. And let's bind. Okay. We're going to start at the top. You can open up your bag at this point if you want to help with, like, reduce, like, just so that you're not moving so much material. Folding it in half on itself. 3/8 of an inch. What size binding? This is 2 inches. What am I making today, Nichelle? I'm making an Erica bowler bag with out of leather and suede and water resistant canvas for the interior. And then, all right. Get the double-sided tape. Let's see. Thank you so much. Just giving this a nice tug all the way around. I do this every single time. Like one time I was like in a trance doing it, like because I was doing it. I was thinking about my next bag and not paying attention, and my dog Loki was like following it, like he was gonna pounce on it, the bag, because I kept going around the dining room table. He did that with the skirt too. He's pretty funny. He's a cute little dude. Just covering up that previous row of stitching. That's also why I like contrast thread, because then you can see it really well. So for this, how we're gonna have to feed this one in kind of like at an angle. Take your time. So when I am feeding this at the angle, like if you had a free arm, this is like your time to shine with it. But if you don't, you just feed it at an angle, and the most difficult parts are going to be the area that is round, that are rounded, and it's okay. Just take your time, breathe, and you'll get through it. So I'm going to start from the side, and I'm just going to feed it at the angle, and I'm just going to try to make sure that this stays out of the way so I don't accidentally sew over it. 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to go in with 2 stitches and back stitch 3. Locking in those stitches. I'm going to grab a stiletto so it can be hold down the fabric instead of my finger. Needle down when I move a clip. I know this is the time that everybody wants to hurry up and get things done because you've been working on this bag for hours or days or weeks now, right? And you're just like, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. This is the time that you have to slow down and just breathe, because little finishings to your bag can make your bag look the difference between handmade and handcrafted. So when I hear, as soon as I hear handcrafted, I think of artists, artisans, like people that spend hours learning their trade, and their work is just impeccable because they're not afraid to look at themselves and see the flaws and mistakes and try to correct it. So take your time and listen audible, listen to music, sing to yourself, do whatever feeds your soul, and just enjoy this process, because instead of rushing through this, you should be smiling through this like you did this. You finished it. And see how I'm kind of like pivoting at an angle, like this bulk is still on this side, but I'm kind of shifting it with this hand and using the stiletto to make sure all the layers stay compressed. And your stitching is coming out nice, because although no one's probably going to ever see the stitching inside your bag, you could just smile like, yeah, the master of stitches. And we'll clean up any extra strings before we birth it or flip it. I always have my zipper in the middle when I'm binding, because I have accidentally sewn it to the binding, and it just, it was the worst. gonna trim. That's why I always say trim your threads, because this is what happens. You accidentally sew extra threads in. All right, it looks good. So let's get ready to flip this. Okay, we're gonna grab the bottom of the bag. We're gonna try to shimmy this without trying to distort it too much. I'm not gentle though. Okay, and this one's going to be a little like harder to try to like poke out because it's suede and leather and it's trying to do its own thing, and you're going to have to like kind of be the boss over it. Take the time, poke out your seams. I'm just using my hand. The seams that are a little bit thicker, I'm just gently shaking them to let them shift into place. So what I'm going to do is when I exit off of here, as you can see, that water repellent, the water resistant stain on the suede didn't stain it or anything. So I'm going to give this a spray. Like I said, this is going to be good for leather, suede, cotton, canvas, nylon, polyester, any materials. What you do is you have to make sure the bag is clean and lint free, and you need to spray it about 6 to 8 inches away from the material, and then it dries. You see how fast it like dried. And remember, I had an area and I accidentally touched it with oil, and yeah, that's what it's there for. So that way, if someone sees this and is like, "Oh, it's suede," what I'm afraid that it might get ruined or whatever. By treating it, you're helping to keep this bag a lot longer. And I love it. It is still very much stable. It's not as stable with the Decaville light not being in the main panel and stuff like that, but it is a nice soft bag. So yeah, contrasting thread is fun, and we did it. We did it on our handles, and now I will do this outside, and then I will post a picture tomorrow so you can see. I'll spray it all and then take a picture, and then as it dries I'll take another picture so that you can see the difference, and I'll put it on YouTube so that way you can see the difference side by side of this big beautiful bag, and that way you're not afraid to use lighter colors because you're afraid that they'll get dirty faster. There are products for it. There's always been products. Think about like our parents scotch guarding their couches and cars and shoes and whatever. The same process, but please, please, please do it outdoors, because man, that it smells gross. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It smells disgusting. So I'm gonna do that for this, and I will post the picture tomorrow in Aura. So if you don't have any questions, it was like an informal tutorial on how I would do a leather and suede bag. I really like how it came out. This bag is really, really pretty. And I'm going to cut out a piece of leather that's going to be the strap. That will be just the strap for this. I'm going to cut out a piece of leather that is 54 inches because it's soft and pliable enough to go through through all the work. So I really like it. So I will talk to y'all later, and I appreciate you going around and sewing with me today and keeping me company. Bye.